We are live. We are live. Welcome to College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Flugar. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football. And if you do as well, please subscribe to our channel. Smash the like button if you like our content. Share the video with your family and friends if you want to support this Rebel Outpost. If you want to support the home for college sickos, college football sickles, to help us keep the lights on, hit that $, make a donation where you make your comment, and I'll get to your super chat as quick as I possibly can. Welcome everybody into the studio that sits on the corner, the very corner of Keith Jackson Parkway and Kurt Gowdy Avenue. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to become a legend with your comments and with your phone calls. Ryan Day has come out. Ryan Day, the head coach of the Ohio State Buckeyes, the national champions, the defending, reigning, undisputed national champions. Ryan Day has come out and declared the conference, the Big Ten, deserves 4 auto bids. And he gives all of us the reasons why. Now, he's coming out in the open. We're going to cover that. There are signs that in private, once again in private, Silent Tony Petiti. There are signs. It is being leaked. The reporters are starting to lay it down. The Big Ten is making it known. We are willing to compromise. The Big Ten Conference is willing to compromise. According to reports, the Big Ten is willing to compromise. However, the SEC, the Southeastern Conference, they also need to compromise. It's time for the Southeastern Conference, the mighty Southeastern Conference. It's time for you all to go to 9 conference games. The Big Ten is willing to bend in one direction. The SEC has to bend in the other direction. We are going to cover that. We also now the last couple of days, the last couple of live shows, we've been using Athlon Sports, their first team offense, first team ACC offense, first team ACC defense, and the special teams. We have covered all that. And again, on a live show, we got to talk some football. So today, we are going to discuss Athlon Sports, all Big 12 team. First team, all Big 12 team on offense. Pretty good. I think if you line up the all Big 12 against the all ACC, I wish someone would run 1,000 simulations on that game. Be pretty interesting. So we are going to go through that in our monologue. We have got a lot to get to. We are going to go through Ralph Russo's article in The Athletic. So buckle up, brace for impact, and again, keep your head on a swivel. Let me know if there's any breaking news going on during a live show here on June 4th. We like to get off a little bit earlier on Wednesdays. Wednesdays are my most difficult days to do a live show, but we do have a window of time. We're going to get it done. We'll be on here for a couple of hours. I hope you enjoy our show today. The phone lines will be open. We'll be open about 45 minutes from now, an hour from now. And when you call in, you can talk about anything you want in college football. Anything that your heart desires. MBM, the Oklahoma State Cowboy. The Cowboy in the PATC family kicks us off this June 4th. Equal access for all. 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 I think what MBM is trying to say here is he wants equal access for all. He is promoting, supporting the 5+11. Now, that isn't quite equal access, though. It isn't quite. It's almost. Because not all the G6 conferences are getting equal access. But maybe MBM is for 10 auto bids and 6 at-large bids. So I might be putting words into MBM's mouth, and I should not be doing that. MBM, thank you so much for your kindness. Most of the college football world agrees with MBM. The majority is with MBM. MBM, Mr. Cowboy, is talking for the masses. And I was right with you, MBM. I was with you. I was with you all the way, and I can be with you again. The Gopher can be with the Cowboy, but the SEC has to compromise. The SEC, the Southeastern Conference, they got to compromise. If they're willing to compromise, if they're willing to go to 9 conference games, we can make the 5+11 work. Equal access for all. Equal access for all. As long as the Southeastern Conference compromises. Thank you, MBM. I appreciate the incredible generosity you have provided our channel to help us keep the lights on for all these months, these years. Thank you, MBM, for all your support. Excuse me. I'm very humbled by it. Thank you, Mr. Cowboy. And again, I think you speak for a lot of people. A lot of people. Most of the people. Most of the people. Okay, let's do a quick roll call here. We got a lot to get to. Again, there is this community thing going on. Vox Quindaro is in first. AMAC is in second. Dante's Inferno Purgatory is in third. That is the Purple Crown that is going on there. So there is a race to see who is the number one PATC family member during the live show of June 1st. Jay Go Blue. Jay Go Blue is in the house. AMAC is here. Steel Austin is here. Great job, Steel Austin, with Nathan Brown. Congratulations. You guys were fantastic. Bo Weevil. Mr. Clemson Tiger. Donald Duck is in the house. Caleb Ramirez. MGC Sooner. Becky Go Huskies is in the house. My goodness. The Georgia Bulldog. Don Scruggs. Chad Bracey. Seminole. Stormy Cyclone. Iowa State, Ames, Iowa. Heelan, Florida is in the house. Go Blue, Go Tigers. Tuffy Duffy is here. Outlaw Skis, as we mentioned, is here. Cheeseburgers for all. Cheeseburgers for all. Oh my God! Muggy Wow is in the house. Osceola Trucker, Gold Nose is here. Thanks for coming on in. The Terrapin, D5 Terps is here. Preston from Greensboro, North Carolina. Deserves got nothing to do with it. Clint Eastwood. Mr. Monkey says, Ryan Day, is he the new Big Ten commissioner? Is Silent Tony still silent? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. The architect is in the house. Bill G is here. Check it out. The unofficial commissioner, Mr. Ryan Day. Vox Quindaro. How do you do, fellow cultists? AMAC, Ryan Thomas. I deserve 4 donuts. I might have had 4 donuts today. Off the record. Al Woody is in the house. Day speaking up for the Big Ten. Somebody's got to speak up for the Big Ten. Somebody's got to. It doesn't. What does it matter what Ryan Day says? S. Farmer. Maybe it doesn't mean a whole lot, but I got to tell you something. What the SEC coaches said in Destin, Florida, that mattered a whole lot. That made the SEC kind of go, what? The athletic directors, they were caught by surprise. The Big Ten was shook. The Big Ten was like, what is going on down there in Destin, Florida? So, if the SEC coaches can have that much impact on the internal decision-making that is going on in the mighty SEC, maybe what Ryan Day says in the Big Ten is of importance. Maybe the athletic director of the Buckeyes is going to heed the call. Maybe President Carter of the Ohio State University. He's going to have to listen to Ryan Day. So it shouldn't be that important. It shouldn't be that important. But man, it was important in the Southeastern Conference. So maybe it's going to be important in the Big Ten. And here at Peek Around the Corner, college football's Peek Around the Corner, we are going to be covering it. The SEC and the Big Ten equal the evil empire. Well, that evil empire is split. Absolutely split. Greg the Golden, that he's got a cheeseburger up there. My goodness. K-Fans, 1993. Well, you know what? I think maybe, possibly, Canes fan, 1993. Tony and Sankey are in a conspiracy to ensure you eat that cheeseburger. Maybe the momentum has turned. Maybe the momentum has turned. Maybe the Big Ten is saying it to Sankey, look, you want to keep your precious 8 conference games. You don't want to go to 9. You want to stay at 8. You want your coaches want to make sure that they reach those bonuses in their contract, and it's a lot easier to do at 8. The bottom half, historically, the bottom half of the SEC conference, it's easier to become bowl eligible with 8 conference games. You want to keep those bonuses in your contract. You want to stay at 8 games. All right. We can't force you. I mean, we can put pressure on you. But if you want to stay at 8 games, that's all good and dandy. But if you stay at 8 conference games, there is no way on God's green earth that there's going to be 11 at-large bids. That ain't a happening. That is not a happening. So if you want to stay at 8 and you don't want to have your 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th place teams do a play-in game, that's all good. You stay over there. The Big Ten will be over here. We'll do the 4-4-2-2-1-3. There'll be 3 at-large bids. You can have the advantage. You can have the advantage over the Big Ten and the Big 12 and the ACC when it comes to 3 at-large bids. You're not going to have the advantage over 11 at-large bids. That ain't happening. If you want to stay at 8, if you don't want to make any more money on a 9th conference game, if you don't want to make more money on a playing game, if you don't want to make more money in a cross-rival game with the Big Ten, if you want to stay at 8, stay at 8. But if you stay at 8, then we got to do the 4-4-2-2-1-3. The Big Ten is willing to compromise. The Big Ten, you want to go 5-11? Okay, go to 9 games. If you want to stay at 8, we'll do 4-4-2-2-1-3. Pick your poison, Southeastern Conference. Pick your poison. So, possibly, maybe, could be that the fat guy from Minnesota ain't gonna be eating a cheeseburger live in front of this camera, in front of you heathens out there that do eat cheeseburgers. There's a chance that the fat guy from Minnesota can slip out the back door on this one. Ryan Day, keep speaking up. Keep speaking up. Okay, who else we got in here? Jose is in the house. Thomas Moss is here. Ryan Thomas is in the house. My goodness, King Spleen. Lee Go Gators. Lee Go Gators. They've already coughed up the money. ESPN is willing to pay $80 million. $5 million per school more. So that is not an excuse anymore. Greg Sankey used to use that excuse. But that one you got to, you're going to get more money for the 9th conference game. Pick your poison, Southeastern Conference. Pick your poison. Are you flipping again? I'm being the great compromiser, AMAC. Somebody has to be the great compromiser. Both sides got to compromise. Big Ten, most of the country wants 5 plus 11. I don't know if that's really going to work out for the Big 12 and ACC, but we'll find out in the next 5 years. Most of the country wants 5 plus 11. SEC, you got to go to 9 games. Compromise. You can call me whatever you want. You can never call me late for dinner. But you can call me whatever you want. Compromise on both sides. The Big Ten echo chamber. Mayor McCheese is in the house. 3 conferences like the 5-11. Michael Malone. The SEC's not going to 9 games. It's not their job to help the Big Ten placate its TV partners who are pressuring Petiti for better games in November. I don't know where all this is coming from. I mean, the NBC would like better games, and they're going to get it because the Buckeyes are going to play a little less on Fox. The Big Ten media partners, we're gonna find out in about 3.5 years from now how happy truly the Big Ten media partners are with the Big Ten. Because when the next round of negotiations begin, you're going to see they make a lot of money. They make a lot of money on the Big Ten content. The viewership numbers are good, but it ain't just about the viewership number. It's about the value of the demographics, of the markets that those live contents are being played in. The national advertisers love the Big Ten markets. So there's a lot of nuance in this. The Big Ten is at 9 games. The Big Ten, if you don't want to do a cross conference scheduling agreement, fine. That's cool. If you want to stay at 8 conference games, okay. But we're not going to go 5 plus 11 at 8 conference games. The SEC is not going to be able to stay at 8 conference games, 5 plus 11, and tweak the criteria, have everything they want. At this point, the Big Ten doesn't care if they're looked at as the bad guy when the SEC's getting everything they want. I mean, at this point, the Big 12 and the ACC needs the Big Ten to step in. Nope. If this is going down the road of 5 plus 11, the SEC can't remain at 8 games. And if they insist upon it, if the Southeastern Conference insists upon getting everything they want, then there's option B out there. And that is going to DEFCON 3. We'll talk more about that later. Okay, Rod Nix is in the house. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I'm behind on the incredible, generous gift memberships. Holy smokes. Jimmy Austin, Mr. Oregon Duck, sends out a gift membership. So kind of you, Jimmy. I do very appreciate it. Thank you so much. Edward Wilson was gifted a membership by Jimmy. The generosity of Jimmy once again. Edward Wilson, when you got time, please say thank you to Jimmy for his incredible generosity. Both of you are officially knighted Cloak and Dagger. And there is a lot of Cloak and Dagger stuff going on out there. But Jimmy, thank you so very much. Edward Wilson, you have the opportunity now to go to our library of shows and check out all the episodes, and including the ones that are from members only, early peak Cloak and Dagger. Thank you so much, Jimmy. Bill G, 5 gifted memberships. Bill G has done it once again. He has given out so many gift memberships. My goodness. James Haley, Chris S. Soap, I haven't seen Soap in a while. Jeff Keyes, and finally Tuned. All 5 of you are given a membership by the incredible generosity of Bill G. When you get an opportunity, please say thank you to Bill G. All of you are knighted, officially Cloak and Dagger. You are all officially welcome into the PATC family. Thank you, Bill G. I'm very humbled by all your generosity, your support. It helps us keep the lights on. It helps us to keep doing this day after day. And hopefully we provide a little bit of information and a whole lot of entertainment. At least somebody that you all can laugh at during the week. Time for the Big Ten to stop throwing a tantrum. If you don't like your 9-game schedule, change it. The Big Ten loves its 9-game schedule. Loves it. Love it. And they want to do the play-in games. They might not be able to do them. Right? The Big Ten, if it's 5 plus 11, the Big Ten might not be able to do what they want to do. And you know what? That's the art of compromising. The Big Ten is willing to compromise. Where is the Southeastern Conference willing to compromise? Why does the Southeastern Conference get everything they want? Where is the Southeastern Conference willing to compromise? Give me an answer. Give me an answer. Does anybody have an answer? Everyone wants to be the villain until it's time to be held accountable. I think the Big Ten right now is saying to everybody, we're going to go through some reports here. We want this. They've made it perfectly clear what they've wanted. And they're willing to compromise. The SEC wants this. Where is the SEC willing to compromise? We haven't heard it. We have not heard anything. Opie, has anybody asked the SEC presidents what they want? Aren't we jumping the shark? Possibly. Okay, let's get into it, guys. Thank you guys so very much. Thank you, MBM, Jimmy, Bill G. And if more super chats come on in, I will get to them as quick as I possibly can. Thank you for all the support. But first, we are going to start with talking about some football. Before we get into the Athletic Ralph Russo article, before we get into what Ryan Day said about the Big Ten, deserves 4 auto bids. Before we get into all that, we're talking first team, all Big Ten per Athlon Sports. And of course, you know who this guy is. Sam Leavitt. Arizona State led Arizona State to the Big 12 championship game. The Sun Devils missed out on beating the Longhorns in the playoffs by an eyelash. 4th down conversion. The Longhorns pulled it out at the very end of the game. Arizona State, Sam Leavitt coming back without no doubts. No doubts. He's got to be your first team all Big 12 quarterback. And he's going to be getting Jordan Tyson, a healthy Jordan Tyson, ready to go at the start of the season. Running back Raheem White, the West Virginia Mountaineers. Raheem White now he's going to be asked to do more. He's going to be the cowbell. And it's going to be interesting to see how he does. Rich Rodriguez coming back to be the head coach. New everything. New offensive coordinator. New starting quarterback. They're not going to be C.J. Donaldson back there with Mr. White anymore. So again, Mr. White is getting a lot of respect, earned respect. 2 years ago, he was incredible. Number one running back, Big 12, all Big 12. He's got 2 running mates in the backfield on the all Big 12 team. One of them is Brian Washington. Now, I've been talking about Bryson Washington a lot lately. Mr. Sawyer Robertson, Bryson Washington. I got Baylor Bears in the top 4, top 5 of the Big 12. PATC order of finish prediction. The Baylor Bears are going to be a factor in the Big 12 race. They're going to be a factor in the Big 12 race. This man, Bryson Washington, is a big reason for that first team all Big 12 offense per Athlon Sports. And then the all-purpose back. Now remember in the ACC per Athlon Sports, the all-purpose back was Desmond Reed, Pittsburgh Panthers. For the Big 12, the all-purpose back it's got to be Dylan Edwards, Kansas State Wildcats. Dylan Edwards, again, he, just like Raheem White, Edwards is going to be the cowbell for the Kansas State Wildcats in 2025. He is going to be RB1. That speed out of the backfield, dump him off the ball, Avery Johnson. Edwards should have big numbers. First team all Big 12 per Athlon Sports. And of course, we just talked about Jordan Tyson. First team all Big 12 wide receiver, Arizona State. He got nicked up. He got injured at the end of the season. Sam Leavitt could not go back in the pocket and look for his number one target during the playoff game. But he's going to have him at the beginning of this season. Jordan Tyson, big-time player for the Sun Devils. First all Big 12, first team, Jordan Tyson. Mr. Move the Chains, Chase Roberts, BYU Cougars. 3rd down and 6. Ratzlaff is looking for Mr. Chase Roberts. All Big 12, first team, wide receiver, Chase Roberts, BYU. Eric McAllister, again, another guy I do not talk about enough. Shame on me. TCU Horned Frogs got themselves a superstar at the wide receiver position. And that concludes your wide receivers for the first team all Big 12 per Athlon Sports. Joe Royer is going to have to be big time for the Cincinnati Bearcats. I believe he started his collegiate career with the Buckeyes. Right? I believe he did. I remember him, or maybe my memory is going on me, but Royer was the tight end for Cincinnati last year. He's got big-time ability. Cincinnati, they're bringing back their quarterback, which is great, but they're not bringing back their star running back. They're not bringing back their top 3 wide receivers. So this man right here is going to have to carry the Bearcats offense. Joe Royer, Cincinnati, all Big 12 tight end. Bryce Foster, Rock, Chalk, Jayhawk. Bryce Foster, center. Got to keep that. You got to keep your quarterback clean. Your quarterback who's been injured, a little bit nicked up. You got to keep him clean, got to keep him healthy. Big time player, Bryce Foster, Kansas, all Big 12 center. Then the big guy, the monster from Colorado. Huge, Jordan Seaton. You got to have him on your first team, all Big 12. He's an NFL. He's going to be playing on Sundays. Jordan Seaton. And then Utah, the strength of Utah. And, of course, their new quarterback coming in from New Mexico, Dampier. He's going to be relying on that offensive line. Good thing for him. The Utah Utes has got Fano and Lomu, and they've got some big guys in the offensive line. So Utah Utes well represented in the Big 12, all Big 12, first team offense. And then to round it out, Arizona State offensive lineman Ben Coleman. Ben Coleman, big old number 62. Okay. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That is your first team, all Big 12. First team, all Big 12 on offense. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about the first team, all Big 12 per Athlon Sports on defense and special teams. Again, I've had some complaints. Saying, Greg, you really should get to what you're going to talk about during your live shows quicker. Get to the main story quicker. I can't. I have to talk football, even during the off season. We got to cover these teams. We got to cover the players. We got to cover the coaches. There's a lot of drama going on internally in these locker rooms. We talk football here at PATC, even during the off season. And then in the season, we have the most watch parties by far in college football YouTube channels. Our passion is football. All these other off-field things that are going on, off-season things that are going on, are incredibly important. And we cover them as much as I possibly can. But we're going to talk football. We're going to talk football. We continue to talk football. So I don't know what to say. I'm not going to be able to fulfill everyone's wishes out there. Football, and then we talk off-field, off-season, all the drama that is going on in college football. Ricky Tungate, my goodness, another super chat by Mr. Hoosier. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much for your generosity, Mr. Hoosier. I very much appreciate it. Wow. Thank you for helping us keep the lights on. Ricky Tungate been supporting us all spring, all winter, last fall. Thank you, Mr. Hoosier. Appreciate it. Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's get to Ryan Day. A whole lot of people are going to get upset in the chat room. A whole lot of people are going to call and be really upset. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. 11 Warriors. Ryan Day says Big Ten deserves 4 automatic qualifiers in college football. Ryan Day. We had a comment earlier in the chat room. Who cares what Ryan Day says? where a whole lot of people really cared about what the Southeastern Conference head coaches had to say, they changed the narrative on this whole story. Now Ryan Day is speaking up. Are we going to hear more Big Ten coaches speak up? I bet we hear from Franklin. We're not going to hear from PJ Fleck. PJ Fleck is too busy out in the waters of the great state of Minnesota rowing the boat. But Franklin might say something. Luke Fickell has a big mouth. He'll say something. There's going to be other Big Ten coaches saying something, I think. We'll find out. We will find out. 11 Warriors, after leading the Ohio State Buckeyes to a national championship. The head coach wants to see future CFP iterations feature at least 4 automatic qualifiers for the Big Ten. We're in the Big Ten. We have 18 teams in some of the best programs in the country. And Minnesota. They told ESPN's Adam Rittenberg, I feel like we deserve at least 4 automatic qualifiers. Last week, the Southeastern Conference coaches and athletic directors voiced support for a model that includes automatic entries for the top 5 conference champions and 11 at-large spots, and a CFP that would expand from 12 to 16 teams. The Big Ten has not advocated for a specific CFP model, but it has discussed one that would feature 4 teams from the Big 12 and the SEC, 2 from the ACC and the Big 12, and 1 from the top group of the 5 champions. While the ACC and the Big 12 opposed the plan, Ryan Day, the head coach of the Buckeyes, says he's in favor. He's in favor of the plan. It only makes sense when you have 18 teams, especially the quality of the teams that you have. That many teams representing the Big Ten, Ryan Day told Rittenberg. Day added a CFP model with more automatic qualifiers will benefit college football because it will incentivize stronger non-conference scheduling, especially with the discrepancies in how conference schedule their seasons. Ohio State opens in 25 this season against the Texas Longhorns in a rematch of the last year's Cotton Bowl. The game will kick off at noon on Fox. If you don't have these automatic qualifiers, you're less likely to play a game like we're playing this year against Texas because it just won't make sense, Day said. If we do, then you're more likely to do that because we play 9 conference games in the Big Ten. The SEC doesn't, so it's not equal. With 12 regular season games and 4 CFP games, Ohio State took the field 16 times in 24, with hopes to keep premier matchups like Texas, Bama, Georgia on future non-conference schedules and make deep playoff runs. Day also shared with Rittenberg that he's concerned about the length of the college football seasons with shrinking roster sizes following the impending House NCAA settlement. Finally in the article, I'm concerned about 16 or 17 games with a 105-man roster, Day said. With 120, it's about maxed out. You have to stay healthy. And all it takes are a couple of injuries during that long of a run. But in the NFL, you can hire somebody off waivers. In college football, you can't. I'm concerned about the length of the season at 105. Ryan Day says the Big Ten deserves 4 automatic qualifiers in the college football playoff. 11 Warriors by Chase Brown. Okay. Now we heard from Ryan Day. And before we get to the Athletic, I want to thank Mr. Buckeye, who supports Ryan Day, I'm sure, on this. Expedition Greg, thank you so much for another gifted membership. Reese has been given the membership. Reese, when you get an opportunity, please say thank you to Expedition Greg for his, once again, incredible generosity. Both of you are knighted, cloak and dagger. Thank you so very much. Appreciate it, Expedition Greg. I don't want to talk for Expedition Greg, but I think he probably supports what Ryan Day is saying. Okay. Now, let's get to, I'm looking at your comments. Jose, what if the SEC stalls? Then says no. 5-11 plus 8 games. Then we're going to go to DEFCON 3. Then we're going to go to DEFCON 3. We'll talk about that later. It behooves the Southeastern Conference to compromise in some way. You want to keep 8 games? Good. But we're going to 4-4-2-2-1-3. If you want to go to, if you're willing to go to 9 conference games, the Big Ten can do the 5 plus 11. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it some more. The Athletic article that came out, the SEC and the Big Ten demanded the power to shape the college football playoffs future, and now they can't agree. Greg Sankey often talks about the challenges of solving problems. In large rooms of people, balancing many voices, viewpoints, priorities. It's a fair point. And those rooms have shrunk in recent years. The SEC and the Big Ten were tired of operating in a structure that required consensus from all 11 CFP stakeholders. The new contract that kicks in next year gives the SEC and the Big Ten the power to do what they think is best. Yet, still, the CFP talks have hit a bump, stemming directly from the SEC's internal debate over whether to continue playing 8 conference games or move to 9. The SEC has had this internal debate for years. And they're getting more money from ESPN. But they still can't make a decision. The athletic directors want the 9th game. The SEC coaches do not want the 9th game. After the SEC spent last week making headlines and pounding its chest at its annual spring meetings, decision makers in the Big Ten were left wondering whether the 2 leagues can agree on a model for determining college football's champion. It's best if we come to an agreement. It really is. Ladies and gentlemen, it really is. Pick your poison. The Big Ten is willing to compromise. The SEC, you got to be willing to compromise. If not, the consequences are going to be, well, it's going to be hard to judge the ramifications of what could possibly happen next. Get a load of this. We thought we were on the same page, as I have been reporting for months. What was that? One incredulous Big Ten athletic director candidly addressed the state of discussions. What was that? The Big Ten's preference is clear and has been for a while. Primarily made up of automatic qualifiers. That's what the Big Ten wants. The administrators in the Big Ten believed the SEC was on board. Sankey and Petiti, by all accounts, have a good relationship. They're supposed to be on the same page. Not so fast. SEC athletic directors and coaches left Destin, Florida, intrigued with a different plan. Instead of automatic qualifiers, what if the 5 conference champions and 11 at-large selections populated a 16-team bracket? PATC money shot number 1 of this article. PATC money shot number 1. The plan of this 5 plus 11, the plan of 5 plus 11 and SEC, we don't care if you stay at 8 conference games. The plan was developed by the Big 12 as a way to appeal to the Southeastern Conference ego. Unbelievable. And there has been members in the PATC family that basically said this. They thought this is what happened. I believe Ryan Thomas was one of them. There's a few in the PATC family that said this is a way to cast a wedge between the Big Ten and the SEC. It worked. It worked. Now, I don't happen to think if it went the SEC's way, I don't think it's really good news for the Big 12. But they seem to think that the 5 plus 11 SEC, look, the plan was developed by the Big 12 as a way to appeal to the SEC's ego. Now, let me ask you again, Southeastern Conference. Are you going to let the Big 12 dictate to you? All they got to do is appeal to your ego. Hook, line, and sinker. The SEC coaches talked about, I'll call it a 5-11 model, and our own ability to earn those bursts, Sankey said last week during one of the 4 briefings with reporters. The question is, why wouldn't that be fine? Why wouldn't we do that? I kind of like the 5-11 model. If we can fix the selection process, okay. I promise you we're going to get to your phone calls here in a little bit. But I want to focus on this. I kind of like the 5-11 model if we can fix the selection process. An athletic director in the SEC said this. Fix the selection process. Last year, in a down year for the Southeastern Conference, 5 plus 11, 8 conference games, the SEC would have had 6 teams in the playoffs. And it wasn't good enough for them. Yormark, wake up. Phillips, wake up. 5-11, 8 conference games. The SEC wants to also fix the selection process that's going to favor them because of using these metrics that are ridiculous, like the FPI. Throw that all in the selection process. Wow. The strength of our conference and how that's evaluated is really something we want to be a priority. I think that's important for us, Sankey said last Thursday, as the SEC closed its meeting by distributing 6 pages of charts, graphs, and metrics detailing its awesomeness. And a lot of those metrics are just a self-fulfilling prophecy. Example, yesterday, FPI, Football Power Index, absolute joke. We went through that yesterday. Make no mistake, the Big Ten has similar concerns. Petitti would like to turn the selection committee into a seeding committee and use that model that guarantees his league and the SEC 4 college football playoff bids each. But the SEC's public, I'm going to call it display of its power, proclamation, they declared it, was a bit much for the Big Ten, who chooses to work in silence and cede the floor to its rival at this time of year. Still, if the SEC wants to consider a college football playoff model dominated by at-large selections, the Big Ten appears open-minded on one condition. The name of the title of this live show on June 4th at college football's peak around the corner. Time to play 9 conference games, SEC. If we're going to go 5-11, if we're going to do what the Big 12 and the ACC believe is best for them, or maybe they believe it's best for college football, whatever their reasons. If we're going to go to 5+11, if we're going to give more power to the selection committee, it's all going to happen on one condition. SEC, you got to compromise. It's time to play 9 conference games. This is where it's all going, ladies and gentlemen. This is where it's all going. One or the other. Sankey, one or the other. Kirby Smart, one or the other. President Moorhead of Georgia, one or the other. 8 conference games? Okay, we're going to 4-4-2-2-1-3. 9 conference games? Okay, we can do the 5-11. Big Ten is open-minded, willing to compromise. And the SEC, are you willing to compromise? I have not seen one SEC fan. AMAC is bringing up another motivation. And I'm not above trying to steer the pot so I don't have to eat a cheeseburger. I'm guilty as charged. But getting back to the story at hand, I haven't seen one SEC fan willing to compromise on anything. They want to eat their cake, they want to eat their frosting, and they want to eat your cake and your frosting, Big 12, ACC, the It's time for everybody to wake up. Yes, the Big Ten had their spring meetings. Absolutely. Okay, we are going to open up the phone lines. You can talk about anything in college football that your heart desires. Jacobra Cat. Thank you so much for the super chat. Very much appreciate it. Thank you for all your support that you've given us over the months. Jacobra Cat, the Southeastern Conference. After burning Bowlesby, Texas A&M, that's true. Florida State and Big Ten is like my wife who says not to worry about her Chad, her personal trainer. Okay. And her personal trainer and their late night Pilates. If only she wasn't so desirable like the SEC. Good luck, ESPN.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Thank you, Jacobra Cat. Thank you so much. I love the creative writing. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. All right, here we go. Jacobra Cat. That was the comment of the night so far. Jacobra Cat should be in first place. Who's in first place? AMAC. AMAC is in first place. Let me show you the leaderboard. AMAC is in first. Tough Tony's in second. Stormy Cyclones in third. The Cowboy is in fourth. Vox Quindaro in fifth. Rod Nix in sixth. Thomas Moss in seventh. D5 Terps in eighth. Mr. Monkey Says in ninth. And finally, Toon is in 10th place in the community leaderboard, the family leaderboard here at PATC. Okay. Morris Simmons, is the Big Ten going to screw up this realignment? Okay. The whole realignment thing, I'm telling you guys, that is DEF CON. That is, Southeastern Conference. The phone lines are open. Give us a call, 763-260-1333. You can talk about anything in college football that your heart desires. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the first team All Big 12 offense per Athlon Sports. Let me know if you want Ryan Day to shut up, or do you support what Ryan Day said? I will say this. Rick, can you hold on for just a moment?
You bet.
I just want to finish my soliloquy or whatever you call it. SEC. It's in your hands. It's your the whole world is in your hand. I might have to sing that song. And then have it be an episode, be a PATC rendition. SEC, you got the whole wide world in your hand. It's up to you. Do you want to force... Hey, Rick, do you know if DEF CON 1 or DEF CON 5 is the most severe?
I get it mixed up too.
I always get it mixed up. Rock and Rant, do you know if DEF CON 1 or DEF CON 5, whatever. Look, I'll play it down the middle. The Southeastern Conference. Chris Hughes says 1. DEF CON 1 is the worst. DEF CON 1 is the worst. Okay. If the SEC insists, because internally, politically, they still can't move off this 8-conference game. If they're not willing to move off of any of it, we're going to DEF CON we're going to DEFCON 2. And the reason I say that, the reason why I'm not saying 3 or 4, because in this situation, it's not just about the SEC not compromising. I'm talking about the perception from the Big Ten. You all might have a different perception, which is fine. But from the Big Ten perception, do not forget, they believed they got. They believe that the SEC stabbed them in the back during these advisory meetings. You're seeing more, every article that comes out, you're seeing more and more reporting of it. The Big Ten was shocked. They couldn't believe what they were hearing. They thought they had an agreement, but no. So if the SEC is not willing to go off of any of this stuff, they want it all. They want the 8 conference games. They want to tweak the process. They want 5 plus 11. Then we're going to DEFCON 2. DEFCON 2 means the Big Ten's going to flip the table. A whole lot of people are going to be upset by it. But go ahead, Rick. The floor is yours.
Oh, Greg, this is... Don't let these people play you.
That's what I keep getting told that by a handful of people.
Beaten job. This is Sankey at his best. Listen to me. Listen up. The SEC can't even agree amongst themselves whether they want 8 games or 9 games. Whether they want a 4-4-2-2 or a 5 plus 11. They stabbed the Big Ten in the back. The Big Ten is fighting back and retaliating. The Big 12 sees it both ways. They can see the advantages of the Guaranteed 2, and they can see the advantages of the 5-11. It's worked out perfectly. How on earth could any congressman ever consider collusion in this case? The SEC and the Big Ten didn't collude to get the 4-4-2-2-1-3.
Rick, I'm getting a bunch of, I got it. Nobody can hear you, but for some reason I can hear you. So it's not your issue, it's my issue. And I'm looking at everything here and it's all normal. So I am not sure. Audio settings are exactly what they've always been.
I'll tell you what. I'll go ahead and take your answer off the phone.
Got it.
And you can work on it, and you can explain to the listeners what my position was.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go out and try to. I'm gonna go out of this voicemail phone system, come back in, and hopefully the next caller we can hear. And if we can, then you call back. Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry about that, Rick. Okay, guys, let me go back here. Okay. Okay, the phone lines are open. It's strange because it definitely is not his issue. I don't think it's his issue, guys, because I could hear him perfectly. So it's my issue. It's my issue. And I've got everything normal here. Somebody else give us a call, see if the volume is bad, and we might have to quick kick on this caller. Somebody else call, and we'll see if it works. Maybe nobody else can call. Maybe the whole phone system's going down. Someone give us a call, 763-260-1333.
Jose, fight on.
Fight on, Jose. Can anybody hear Jose? Go ahead and talk, Jose.
Test, 1, 2, 3, fight on. Can anybody hear me, or do I sound like I'm sounding like a speaker in the room?
See, they can't hear you. And I can hear you perfectly. So something happened. I'm going to have to figure it out off air.
Okay. Yeah, maybe restart the Google Voice, reboot that whole program.
Yeah, I did as much as I could during a live show. And it's not working.
Okay.
But they're saying they can hear you well enough. Just talk loud, I guess.
Okay. All right. I'm talking loud, and unfortunately, I had nothing to talk about. We're still getting. I mean, we got another 5-star.
Yeah.
A quarterback. I mean, we're cleaning up nicely, so it's going along as planned. My wife just walked into the bedroom wondering why I'm yelling. I have to yell really loud, honey, because you want to say hi? Okay, she doesn't want to talk.
Okay.
All right.
All right, you can go. We'll take the phone thing off. Appreciate it.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Fight on.
Fight on. All right. So phones are not working, or the volume's low, and that's kind of scary because I can hear everything perfectly. It's all normal to me, and all my settings are normal. So, don't know what all that means. I'm going to have to do some testing again tonight. More work on all this. I do apologize to everybody. We've been on the air for an hour and 12 minutes. Just go with it. Well, it's tough when nobody can hear the caller. Or if I can hear him, but the volume is low. Cranking it up for the caller, then Flugard jumps in. I've never needed a microphone, Vox. That's too bad. That is too bad. Well, I think we'll just, I think we'll give it a, hold on. Let's do something. I'm going to do something different here. Hold on. The show has gone to DEF CON 2. No question about it. No question about it. I just wish there was something different here. Okay, I'm going to try this again. I'm guessing it will not work. Phone lines are open. 763-260-1333. Give us a call. See if I have fixed the problem. Okay, I did not want that either. Okay, everything's going pear-shaped. Oh my gosh. We are in a lot of trouble, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Okay. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Why do I keep doing that? Okay, phone lines are open. 763-260-1333. If you call in, you got to speak loud. And hopefully with all these, hopefully we fixed it. But I doubt we did. Okay? Because as you guys know, I'm not a genius. Don Scruggs, let's just talk about how awesome the SEC is.
Call from
Morris Simmons.
to accept, press 1. To send
Morris Simmons?
Yes.
All right, sir. The floor is yours.
Okay. Hey, Greg.
Yeah.
You did a show back about DEF CON 2, about the Big Tens. And I agree with you on that because right now there's no trust in the SEC with Sankey. So my thing is, why is the Big Ten seem like they just waiting for the dominoes to fall or the first domino to fall when they should just go ahead and go on the attack? That's the main question I have, because at the end of the day, the viewers are going to pay to watch football, quality football. They're not going to pay to watch who got the biggest endowment and research dollars. They're paying for football as well as basketball. Letting the SEC be on the offense in a roundabout way. You know, sooner or later, the Big Ten is going to have to come out and be aggressive in this.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
Got it.
Show,
Got it.
and I hope the sound system is back up and running.
Yep. And it probably isn't until I turn everything off and turn everything back on. And of course, I can't do that during the live show. Thank you so very much. Yeah, we're going to just turn that off. So this was Morris Simmons basically saying the Big Ten should act first. They should just go out and I think he's probably referring to conference expansion. Get out there in front, and make a move. Now, we just got news that, that whole thing with Clemson and Florida State and the ACC, it's all settled. It's all good. The whole thing is done. And I think the Big Ten, I'm serious about this. They thought there was an alignment. And I get it. The Big Ten has backstabbed the Pac-12 and that whole alliance thing. I'm just telling you guys, like right now, for good or for bad, the Big Ten is like, what the hell just happened? And I don't know if they can gain that trust with the SEC back again. Why are they spending all this? Because it's not just the time that you spent in the advisory room. It's the time that you spend talking about within your own conference after the advisory group meetings with the Southeastern Conference. So the Big Ten has been gaming their possible cross-schedule thing out. They've been doing a lot of work in relationship with the talks with the SEC. Not to mention Petiti and Sankey talking with each other, forming their relationship. And now Petiti's like, what the hell? What the hell just happened? So what Morris Simmons is saying, why don't the Big Ten just get on with it then? I think there's a chance that they will. If the SEC is not willing to do anything. If the SEC is not going to willing to compromise on anything, then we might see that. But I don't think the Big Ten is going to pull the trigger on what Morris Simmons, I believe, is alluding to, and that is going into the southeastern part of the country and skipping over the North Carolina and the Notre Dame options, just going right to it. I don't think we're there yet, and I want to say, of course, there's going to be a compromise. Big Ten's not going to get everything what they want. They might not really get close to what they want with auto bids. But at some point, the SEC will go to 9 conference games. It's got to be one or the other. And if it doesn't happen, if none of this happens, if there is not a compromise, I mean, Lordy, we're looking at, we're looking at like the Big Ten's talking to 4 different equity firms. SEC's talking to Goldman Sachs to get some advisement. Who knows what's going on between several Big 12 schools and several ACC schools. We have learned today that there is a belief that a certain ACC school went to the state of New York and met with multiple private equity firms in multiple cities. One of them being New York City, and one of them being Brooklyn, and the other one being somewhere else in the state of New York. And the thought is that particular ACC school did it for a larger reason than just their university. Like, it's part of a larger play. So there is major stuff happening right now. And the doors are not, that door opened up to us. we were able to look in that door, but it doesn't really tell us much. So, and I think there are reporters, I'm pretty sure there are national reporters that know way more than they have told any of us. But that information is embargoed until something breaks. And then magically they're going to have that article all written up. And they're going to hit that button. Much like the Ross Dellinger report of just a little bit ago, right? Where we got all that information. This is how this stuff works. I think there is a lot of stuff going on. And if the Big Ten cannot look at the SEC in the way they thought they could look at them, then the Big Ten might look at everything just a little bit different. And that could change the equations of what they're looking at. So, very interesting times. SEC, thank you for the phone bill payment, Mayor McCheese. I appreciate the super chat. I appreciate the support. I do apologize. For whatever reason, once in a while, something doesn't work. Then the next day, but I do have to say, there are other YouTube shows that something doesn't work. And so I feel good. Like, John Kennedy's Always Irish. His phone system is different than the one we use. But once in a great while, it all goes pear-shaped on him. And he gets so upset. And he can't fix it. And he doesn't know why it doesn't work. I mean, it happens. So, it is Loserville City after all. And I am the mayor. So, once in a while, things are not going to work. I do apologize, guys. I really do. Greg, could those schools be having those meetings to secure funding to leave and be financially viable until the new TV contracts? I don't think they are. I think I know what you're saying. I believe what King Spleen is saying here. Are schools meeting with private equity, private capital to make sure that they have a money to be viable to where they could join a conference at much less money, but still it wouldn't hurt them just to get them into the conference? I don't think that is what's going on in regards to the several Big 12 and the several ACC schools meeting. Maybe somebody else is doing that separately, but the several Big 12 schools and the several ACC schools, let me see if I still got that. I should. This one right here. The latest example was a recent clandestine call that several ACC and Big 12 school presidents and high-ranking athletic administrators held with leaders of a private equity-backed Super League. I really don't. I can't. Everybody that I talk to, I think are being honest with me, and they do not know how big a story this is. But there is a belief that North Carolina and Florida State are at least two schools that are involved in this. And I don't think this situation is about, I think it's something different than trying to get money to be viable until a conference gives you full freight, a different conference, something like that. Hopefully that answers your question. But that is a big story. We just don't know if it's a big story or if it's unbelievable big story. One or the other. Thank you, King Splain. Appreciate it. Why do people assume Brett Yormark doesn't have real strategy behind what he's doing? Just because last week, for our own year, he agreed to public goods seating doesn't mean he's doing it now. He may have a strategy. He probably does. He probably does. I don't think so, Florida man. Not when it comes to P2 realignment. Yep. Yeah, I know. It's very true. Okay, I think we're going to shut it down. I got extra work tonight. I got to see what's going wrong here in the studio that sits in the middle of Loserville City, and I am your mayor. I do apologize for the phone technical difficulties. Hopefully it's working tomorrow. If it's not, I'll bring somebody in who's smart, who will fix it. But regardless, we're still going to have a live show tomorrow. I'm 95% sure we're going to have a live show tomorrow because I believe tomorrow is going to be an interesting day. Jacob Cat, SCC are aliens, disrupting the phones, Gopher Greg, too close to the truth. You better believe it, Jacob Cat. You better believe it. Thank you so much, Jacob Cat. Mayor McCheese, Expedition Greg, Ricky Tungate, Bill G, Jimmy, and MBM for all your donation, your generosity to help us keep the lights on and hopefully help us with this phone. It's a major part of our show. Live phone calls where you guys can yell at me and tell me how wrong I got everything once again. Today on our live show, we went through the first team Big 12 offense per Athlon Sports. Ralph Russo, the Athletic article, and 11 Warriors, Ryan Day speaks. He says the Big Ten deserves 4 auto bids. Go check it out. If you just join us, go to the start of our live show and check out the whole live show. We had some fun today. I do believe tomorrow is going to be a very interesting day. So buckle up, brace for impact. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, smash the like button. When you subscribe to our channel, open up, turn on those notifications because we can come on live at any time. At any time. We could be going on live at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. So keep your head on a swivel until next time. From all of us at PATC to all of you, please, you all take great care of each other. Thank you so very much.